Welcome to the Crime Report, where we delve into the darkest corners of real-life mysteries. From unsolved murders to shocking criminal conspiracies, we explore the stories that shook the world. Each episode, we take you step by step through the investigation, uncovering the truth behind the headlines and the secrets that still remain hidden. If you're a fan of crime stories, stay tuned and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Get ready, because we're about to uncover a story that will keep you on the edge of your seat.
The Lighthouse Murders. Part 1. The Final Transmission. The Outer Banks of North Carolina are known for shipwrecks, salt air, and the isolated lighthouses that still stand watch along the jagged coastline. But in February 2023, one lighthouse, Whistler Point Light, became infamous for something far more sinister. At 2:13 a.m. on February 4, the U.S. Coast Guard received a distress call from the lighthouse's backup keeper, Noah Trammell. The message was garbled, but what they could make out sent chills down every spine in the control room. "She's not real. She's walking through walls. Get out, she's behind." Then static. The lighthouse had recently been recommissioned as part of a historical tourism initiative. Its new keeper, Riley Keene, was a former Navy engineer turned writer. She had taken the job for the solitude. Trammell was assigned as her assistant 2 weeks earlier. They were supposed to rotate 12-hour shifts. Neither of them was ever seen alive again. When investigators arrived 24 hours later by Coast Guard chopper, the lighthouse was locked from the inside. No bodies. No signs of forced entry. The generator had failed. Power was out. And in the keeper's logbook, the final entry from Riley read: February 3, 6:42 p.m., the girl in white is back. She stands at the base of the stairs, dripping saltwater. I told Trammell we should leave. He thinks it's a prank. It's not. There was a crude sketch beneath the entry. A girl, tall, thin, hair over her face, and eyes completely black. Inside the lantern room at the top of the lighthouse, investigators found a circle burned into the floor. In the center, Riley's necklace. Her initials carved into the metal. Next to it, written in salt on the window glass, "She watches the light." Locals claimed the lighthouse was cursed. That a shipwreck in 1881 left behind something unnatural. That sometimes, on foggy nights, people hear a girl humming near the rocks, only to find no one there. Detective Erin Caldwell, a skeptic and ex-FBI profiler, was sent in to take over the case. She dismissed the rumors, until she found a recording device hidden in Riley's desk. It was still running when they arrived. The last 3 minutes of the audio were horrifying. Wind. Humming. Then heavy footsteps. And then a whisper, right next to the mic. "Turn off the light. Let me in." Part 2, Let Me In. Detective Erin Caldwell had worked some dark cases in her time: serial killers, cult abductions, disappearances in broad daylight, but none had ever made her question reality. Until Whistler Point. She stood in the cramped keeper's quarters, the air thick with salt and rot. Her boots echoed against the stone floor as she played the audio from the recorder one more time. "Turn off the light. Let me in." The voice wasn't Riley's. And it wasn't Trammell's. It was too high, too calm. Almost childlike. Erin replayed the section 3 times, searching for glitches, digital tampering, anything that could explain it away. But there was no explanation. No trace of outside interference. The timeline made no sense either. The Coast Guard logs placed the final transmission from Trammell at 2:13 a.m. But the audio recorder's timestamp ended at 1:57 a.m., 16 minutes earlier. That meant whoever, or whatever, whispered those words had been there before Trammell's final message. Erin reviewed the security footage from the nearby weather station. At 2:06 a.m., the lighthouse's main beacon, automated and solar-powered, shut off. There had been no technical fault. No wind. No surge. It simply stopped. That's when something appeared on the shoreline. A figure. Barefoot. Wearing what looked like a white dress. It stood still for 6 minutes, facing the lighthouse, before vanishing between frames. 1 second it was there, the next, the frame glitched, and the figure was gone. Erin asked a technician to enhance the footage. When they zoomed in and adjusted the contrast, her breath caught. The figure wasn't alone. In the reflection on the water were 3 more. That night, Erin stayed in the lighthouse alone. She didn't believe in ghosts, she told herself. There had to be a rational explanation. She placed an audio recorder in the lantern room, and another by the spiral staircase. Then she descended into the cellar, where old oil drums and maintenance tools were left to rust. At the back of the cellar, behind a curtain of seaweed like moss, she found something unexpected. A sealed iron door. It wasn't on any blueprint. With the help of the Coast Guard, they managed to cut it open the next morning. What they found inside shocked them. A stone room. Circular. With walls covered in scratch marks, names, dates, symbols carved in desperate spirals. In the center, a shallow pool of seawater, even though the room was above the tide line. Floating in the water was a journal, wrapped in plastic, water-stained, but legible. It belonged to the original lighthouse keeper from 1881. Thomas Bell. February 2nd. The girl is back. Always wet. Always watching. Light won't stop her anymore. We sealed her below, but the sea whispers her name. She wants the flame. She wants the glass. The final page was barely readable. She waits when it's dark. She waits when we turn away. And when the light is out, she walks. Erin ran her hand along the pool's edge. The salt crusted on the stone. And then, she felt it. A tug. Not on her hand. Not physical. On her mind. As if something ancient and hungry had noticed her. And was deciding whether to speak. The temperature dropped. Her breath frosted in front of her. And from deep within the sealed chamber, beneath the stone, she heard the unmistakable sound of knocking. Part 3, she waits when it's dark. The knocking didn't stop. 3 slow, deliberate taps, echoing from beneath the stone pool in the chamber under Whistler Point Lighthouse. Detective Erin Caldwell stood frozen, the journal of Thomas Bell clutched in one hand, flashlight flickering in the other. She called out, voice trembling. Who's there? Silence. Then another knock. This time, it came from behind her. She spun around. Nothing. Just the dripping walls and a hollow wind moaning through the broken seals in the ceiling. But something had changed in the air. The pressure. The stillness. Like the moment before a wave crashes, total quiet, then chaos. Erin climbed back to the surface and locked the cellar behind her. She never went back down. Instead, she took the journal to a historian at Chapel Hill University. They confirmed its authenticity, and something even more disturbing. The name Thomas Bell didn't appear in any official lighthouse records. It was as if someone had erased him. Scrubbed his name from the logs. But the journal entries weren't the only ones. In the university's archive was a separate file, Incident Report, 1936. Filed by a Coast Guard officer stationed at Whistler Point during a storm. It described a girl seen walking along the waterline, barefoot, in hurricane conditions. A second keeper going missing the following night. Salt circles burned into the wooden floors of the keeper's quarters. The report ended with a single phrase. Recommend decommissioning. She will not stop. Back at the lighthouse, Erin reviewed the overnight recording she'd placed before discovering the chamber. 2:14 a.m., silence. 2:15 a.m., a faint gurgling sound, like someone breathing through water. 2:16 a.m., the whisper again, closer this time. Let me in. The voice was followed by a sound like glass cracking. Erin rushed up to the lantern room. The main lens, 8 inches thick, had fractured from the inside. It wasn't mechanical stress. It was something else. A shape, maybe. A shadow pressed from the dark. She contacted headquarters. Requested permission to demolish the subchamber. Her request was denied. Instead, a full investigation was launched. Forensics arrived, drones were deployed. But the deeper they looked, the less they understood. Because the chamber beneath the cellar? It wasn't there anymore. The tunnel Erin used to enter it was sealed. Solid earth. As if it had never existed. The only evidence, her audio recordings, the damaged lens, and the journal of a keeper no one could prove had ever lived. The investigation was closed in late March. Official cause of death for Riley Keene and Noah Trammell, missing, presumed drowned. Whistler Point Lighthouse was permanently shuttered. Visitors banned. The beacon extinguished. But strange reports keep surfacing. Tourists hiking the cliffs at night say they've heard humming on the wind. Boaters report seeing a flickering light in the lantern room, despite the power being cut off. And one fisherman swore he saw a girl standing knee-deep in the water beneath the cliffs. She was staring up at the lighthouse, he said. Didn't move. Didn't blink. And when I looked away for just a second, she was gone. Detective Erin Caldwell retired from active service 6 months later. No press conference. No official statement. Just a single post on a private forum, logged from an untraceable account. We thought she was haunting the lighthouse. But it's the other way around. The lighthouse is hers. It always was. Keep the light on. And never, ever open the door.
If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more thrilling mysteries like this one, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Your likes and shares help us grow and bring even more gripping tales to life. Thanks for listening.